Hi, friends. Today, I'm sharing a new story with you. Hope you enjoy it. The envelope arrived on a rainy Tuesday, standing out in my pile of mail. I didn't recognize the handwriting at first. It had been years since I saw my sister Kiara's neat writing. I opened it out of curiosity and found a card. Mr. and Mrs. Mallory invite you to their 40th wedding anniversary. The details: a fancy estate, formal clothes, cocktails at 7 o'clock, and the Mallory family showing off their usual perfection. I almost tossed the card, but then a small note fell out. Harry, we could really use your help serving at the banquet. We're short on staff, and I know I can count on you. Please wear black. I froze, reading it over and over. After all the hard work I'd put into building Argon Flow, soon to be the Tecan Empire, this is how my family saw me, just someone to serve food. The phone buzzed, and I saw Kiara's name. I picked up, staying quiet. I see you got the invitation, she said cheerfully. And the note, I replied flatly. Oh, good. I know it's a little weird, she said sweetly, but you're so dependable, and you're not busy with the family business, right? It would really help if you acted like staff. Don't be dramatic, Harry, it's just a few hours. Mom and Dad would love it. Plus, you won't be doing anything else that night. Her words stung, but I kept my tone calm. Sure, Kiara, I'll be there. I could almost hear her sigh with relief. Thanks, Harry, you're the best. The call ended, leaving me annoyed. Later that night, I paced my apartment, holding the note. I wanted to tear it up and send a message that I wasn't just a waiter, but part of me saw an opportunity. I opened my closet and took out a custom-made suit, the one I wore to important meetings. It was dark and sharp, a contrast to the plain black uniform Kiara suggested. They want me in black, I muttered, smirking. Fine, I'll wear black. I hung the suit back up, and my phone buzzed. It was a text from Patrick Richards, CEO of New Startup Discoveries. Make the week ahead, Harrison, this deal will be huge. Let me know if you need anything. I read the message and smiled. They have no idea what's coming, I thought. For years, I kept my family at a distance, focusing on building a life outside their expectations. They ignored my dreams, too focused on their legacy. But now, with the Argon Flow deal ready to make headlines, I had a chance to prove myself, not with words, but with results. I put the note back on my desk and made my decision. I'd go to the party, serve their champagne, and wait for the right moment to show them who they'd underestimated. The cafe was busy with the usual morning rush. I sipped my black coffee and scrolled through the final contract for Argon Flow's deal. The number on the page was big, $3, $2 billion. A ping from my laptop caught my attention. Patrick wanted to schedule a call. I found an empty booth in the corner and accepted the video call. Patrick's face appeared on the screen, excited. Harrison, I just spoke with our legal team. Everything is set. By this time next week, you'll be all over the tech news. I leaned back, keeping calm. Anything else on your end, Patrick? He shook his head. No, but get ready. Once this deal goes public, everyone will want a piece of you. I smiled confidently. Let them. I've worked for this. Patrick grinned. I like your attitude. See you at the signing on Monday. Congratulations. The call ended, and I sat back, feeling both excited and calm. Closing my laptop, a shadow fell over my table. I looked up and saw Brian, an old acquaintance who used to work for my father. Harrison Mallory, he said, sitting down without asking, still hiding in coffee shops. Huh? What's your big idea now? I forced a smile. Something like that. Brian laughed. Your parents must be relieved you didn't drag the family name into another project. I heard Kiara's doing great at the company. At least one of you is living up to expectations. I clenched my jaw but stayed calm. I'm glad Kiara's doing well, I said. Brian smirked. Anyway, good luck with whatever you're working on, he said, getting up and walking away, leaving me annoyed. I watched him leave, wanting to shout, "It's my success," but instead, I opened my calendar and made a note. Jubilee, Saturday, 7 p.m. My lips curled into a small smile. The world didn't know yet, but soon they would. The ballroom looked beautiful. The ceiling was high with shining chandeliers, and the silk curtains hung gracefully. Waiters moved smoothly, carrying trays of drinks and snacks while guests chatted and laughed around the room. I stood by the edge, wearing the white shirt and black vest Kiara had asked me to wear. "This looks good on you, Harrison," she said as she walked by, holding her champagne glass. You finally look like you belong. I wanted to argue, but I kept quiet, gripping the tray of glasses I was carrying. Not the right time. As the night went on, I moved through the crowd, overhearing conversations. As expected, no one was talking about me. Guests praised my parents for their business skills and Kiara for her leadership. I, the outcast, moved through unnoticed, until I wasn't. Harrison Mallory, the voice was clear and strong. I turned and saw Patrick Richards. He looked sharp in a suit, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. For a moment, the noise and chatter around us faded away. Patrick walked over, clearly surprised. I didn't expect to see you here. His voice was loud enough for people to hear. I could say the same, I replied, setting my tray on a nearby table. Patrick smiled. Everyone, meet the man of the hour. Confusion spread among the guests. My father, standing nearby, stopped talking and stared at us. Kiara's smile faded, and she looked between Patrick and me. Patrick, I started, trying to steer him away from making a scene, but he raised his hand to stop me. This man, Patrick said proudly, is about to make history. Harrison Mallory, the mind behind Argon Flow, has just closed a deal to sell his company for a massive $3.2 billion. The room went quiet, then shocked whispers filled the air. $3 billion? Someone whispered. My father's face went pale, and he had to grab a chair to steady himself. Kiara looked completely shocked. Patrick clapped me on the shoulder. Harrison, you should have told me you were moonlighting as a waiter, he joked, causing nervous laughter from the crowd. I wanted to keep it low-key, I said lightly. My father stepped forward, looking upset. Harrison, why didn't you tell us? I met his gaze. Would it have mattered? You've never cared about what I do. Kiara, she interrupted, her voice panicked. That's not true, we've always supported you. By asking me to serve drinks? I cut her off, my voice calm but sharp. The room fell completely silent. Patrick, sensing the tension, squeezed my shoulder and excused himself. Enjoy your evening, he said with a pointed look at my parents and then disappeared into the crowd. I adjusted the tray at my side. Excuse me, I said coolly, I need to change into something more fitting. As I walked away, every eye in the room followed me. The tables had turned, and for the first time, I wasn't invisible. The hall was full of excitement as waiters moved around the guests. A banner above read, "Celebrating the visionary success of Argon Flow." I looked around, feeling the weight of everything happening. It had all been planned carefully, but there was one thing I hadn't shared. Sir, it's time, a staff member whispered, bringing me back to reality. I nodded, adjusted my cufflinks, and walked to the front. The room went silent as the lights dimmed, and everyone turned to look at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, my voice steady, thank you for being here tonight to celebrate what has been an incredible journey. The crowd clapped, but I raised my hand to quiet them. Before we continue, I want to acknowledge some special people who played a big part in shaping who I am. The crowd looked curiously as my father, mother, and Kiara entered, wearing not their usual fancy clothes, but server uniforms. Just like the catering staff, the room was filled with confused whispers, followed by nervous laughter. They hesitated as they carried trays of champagne, their faces showing embarrassment and determination. Please, give a round of applause for my family, I said, genuinely smiling. The crowd clapped politely, though it felt awkward. Kiara walked up first, setting her tray down. Harrison, we've done what you asked. Are you happy now? I'm not looking for happiness, I replied quietly. I'm looking for change. My father stepped closer. We've learned our lesson, son, he said. This has made that clear. I leaned in so only they could hear. This wasn't about humiliating you. It was about showing you what it feels like to be invisible, treated like you don't matter. They exchanged a look, and their faces softened. We understand, my mother whispered. I turned back to the crowd, raised my glass, to growth, to family, and to the unexpected paths that bring us home. Everyone raised their glasses, but before they could take a sip, a sharp sound broke the silence. Patrick Richards stood at the other end of the room, a smile on his face. Harrison, he called out, his tone light but firm, before we toast, I think you forgot one last announcement. All eyes moved between Patrick and me. My heart raced as he stepped forward with a piece of paper. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, it turns out Argon Flow isn't just being sold, it's being restructured. And Harrison here is not only the youngest billionaire but also the new CEO. The room erupted in cheers. My family's shocked faces were unforgettable. Patrick handed me the paper with a wink. I looked at my parents one last time. Only people I can trust on this journey, I said meaningfully. Are you ready to earn that trust? My father nodded, his eyes filled with tears. We are. And for the first time, I believed him. I hugged him, and tears filled my eyes. In that moment, I forgave my whole family. What do you think of the story? Would you like more? Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. See you tomorrow.